I'm not sure where exactly to start since other people have likely covered everything about this game that should have been covered by this point, but since today is the 1 year anniversary, I wanted to do a retrospective type video essay. I'm going to do my best to put my thoughts down and try to make it clear why I love this game so much. My main starting point is yes, the game is certainly not for everybody. It is for all intents and purposes a walking simulator, as other people claim. It is. But there's so much more to it than just that. To simply dismiss it as just a walking simulator is a huge disservice to the game. But I will say this, even though I will try to explain why I love it, I can't explain why exactly I love Death Stranding. One of the main reasons I love Death Stranding is it's a huge puzzle game. I can't remember a time when I didn't love puzzles in any form. In this puzzle game, you traverse across the continent and you try to figure out the shortest or best possible route for any given situation, be it a time-sensitive mission or delivering your cargo with the least amount of damage possible. The game is wholly unique. When Kojima said he wanted to make Strand the new genre of gaming, I kinda get where he's going with it. This is a wholly new type of gameplay. While some of the elements in here like micromanaging, managing your inventory load, even though the weight distribution is a new concept, and, well, walking, are present in other games, he has blended everything together to make something new and very unique. I don't know why I can't get Death Stranding out of my head. I played it, I beat it, I covered in my Everything Great About series, and have played a little more to try to hunt for the Platinum Trophy. But I kept feeling this itch to play it again, and coincidentally it happened to fall around the anniversary. I fully expected there to be no activity online, but surprisingly, there are still roughly 39,000 people online monthly. It seriously amazes me that the activity that's grown over the year with Death Stranding being an asynchronous multiplayer. You start the game off with absolutely nothing on the map. There's no structures from any other players online. You might find some lost cargo, but nothing really worth noting. The only thing that's there is what you put down. As time goes on, you slowly see other people's cargo they failed to deliver, or what's been stolen by the mules. You see these structures put up that can help you out as well, but slowly you start to see other structures that you didn't place. Usually they seem to be in a place that's most beneficial to you, like finding a generator when your bike is nearly out of battery, or a timefall shelter in the middle of timefall and your packages are nearly destroyed. Booting up the game after a long break and looking at the map was astounding. The map was so cluttered with other people's structures that I can barely tell what's mine and what's somebody else's. The sheer number of people's structures and how many people played and enjoyed this wonderful game warms my heart. Weirdly enough, Death Stranding came out at the right time for COVID-19. The game is about making connections in a vast and lonely world. Not all that dissimilar from ours currently. I know there's a lot of places that aren't taking it as seriously as others, but the general idea is that we are isolated, but together. It gives you a feeling like if you're isolated, but there's someone going through the same bit of isolation, it makes your loneliness not feel so vast. Death Stranding arguably has a spot for my favorite game of all time. In typical Kojima fashion, it's very confusing and I don't fully understand it. Yet, I can't help but to be drawn into the story and world building that he's created. At the end of the day, even if I don't understand what's going on, it's a game. Above all else, a game needs to be fun. With the unique way the game is presented, I can't help but to love it to pieces. Some people will just say, the gameplay isn't that fun, it's just walking. As I stated before, it's so much more than that. I don't think any game is perfect or deserves a perfect score. There's some systems in the game that can be improved, mostly with the map. It's odd how it has no way to turn off specific markers on the map. That or it's obtuse and I haven't figured it out yet. The colors between your markers on the map and the ones that are online could be a little clearer too, as sometimes it's hard to differentiate between them. I think that in a way, it's perfect as it is. It was Kojima's first attempt as an independent developer, and for that being the case, he did a fantastic job. Part of the reason I decided against covering new games right away, other than Watch Dogs Legion coming up, is I feel like most of the time we're so focused on rushing things out, we don't give ourselves enough time to enjoy things. Take it from me, I loved Death Stranding when it came out, but now I'm completely infatuated with it. It's like something has bored into my head and won't leave. The love has only grown the more time I've spent with it. Rushing opinions out doesn't leave time for things to settle. Not everything ages good either, but sometimes, especially with something as obtuse as Death Stranding, you need to give yourself time to digest it. Kojima has announced he's working on something new. I'm hoping it's either continuation on Death Stranding's world or something just new entirely. As far as Death Stranding goes, not the story is told as complete as it can be, but maybe something set in the world or with similar gameplay. There's something so wonderfully soothing about the dreary world that's been crafted. Don't get me wrong, I love my RPGs, I love my FPSs, I love all types of games, but there's something so fantastic about a game so against combat. There's a huge penalty should you start killing people. This is the only game I've seen to heavily incentivize a non-lethal playthrough outside of trophies or getting a bad ending. At the time of writing this, I'm trying to obtain a platinum trophy. I'm probably about 70 hours into the game and just barely scratching the surface of that. It astonishes me that at 70 hours, I'm now finding the new tools to use like the sticky gun, which pulls packages to you. I'm sure there's more things to discover too, and I can't wait to discover them. I would put Death Stranding in the same category as the Kingdom Hearts and Souls series, where if I could wipe them from my memory and experience them all over again for the first time, I would. All in all, Death Stranding is a phenomenal game, and my only regret is that I can experience it just once. I want to thank everybody for kind of just going through this experiment with me. This is something that I've wanted to do for a while. I had originally planned for my first video in this experience series to be either Transistor or This War of Mine, but like I stated, I got so tied up with Death Stranding, with everything about it. I got so sucked into it and pulled into it again. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit more, especially since I didn't do a review series or a review at the end of Everything Great About for Death Stranding, because I'm still kind of trying to find my style with these kinds of things. I think I've gotten a pretty decent groove right now with not doing the two-parters anymore and doing the little review series at the end where I can give some of the thoughts on the game, give a little pros and cons over it. But all in all, I'm actually still happy that Death Stranding ended up being the first in the experience playlist, just because, it is an experience. It's an experience to have. As far as liking it or not liking it, that's still solely going to be up to you. You are the only person that can figure out whether this is something that you like or not. Anyway, that's enough of this rambling. My name's been Dead Man Gaming. Try not to die out there.